Get to know Mel and Monique Roberson, public speakers, coaches, founders of the Roberson Resource Group, and authors of Love Beyond 40, a guide for Black women on finding lasting partnership. Mel and Monique Roberson, welcome to the Chundria Show. How are you today?
We are so good.
Yes, you are. Happy belated wedding anniversary to you.
Oh, thank you. These 2 years have flown by. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. Now, this is what I want to know before we dive in today is how did you two meet?
Okay.
Oh, a collective side.
So we're going to take you on the short route because we ain't got that much time.
Okay.
We met in a similar setup to this. It was a interview for authors about their favorite books. It was called Book Versus. It was in 2021, so it was still a little pandemic-y. And we were both invited because we both have books and we're talking about our favorite books. We were invited by a mutual friend. Look at his face. We were invited by a mutual friend who I have known since high school.
All right, so here's the backstory that she never tells as part of the story. It's her story. It's our story. So this mutual friend is my younger brother's best friend. He's like a little brother to me also. And they played basketball together at Whitney Young High School in Chicago. She was the manager for the basketball team at Whitney Young High School. Now, there are several other managers who we're still friends with today. Everybody on the team, including the coaches, including the other managers, remembers me except her. She claims that she didn't know me when they were in high school, even though I was at the games almost getting ejected by the referees because I was yelling at the refs. So she says she didn't know me back then, and I'm gonna let her have that. But everybody
I was busy
else
fighting with the refs too, so that might be how it got missed. But he's 4 years older than me, so he was away at college, would come back. Fast forward though, 2021 April is when we have that virtual interview. We become friends. June 19th, Juneteenth, we decide to go for a hangout. We hadn't met in person yet and play miniature golf. So we went to play miniature golf, and girl, I fell in love on the first hole. I'm looking at him all googly eyed.
And I had no clue.
He didn't know nothing was happening.
I had put her in the friend zone. I was calling her little sis. I was trying to hook her up with other people.
It was a whole mess.
Yeah.
However, within a couple of weeks, he figured out what had happened, found his mind. We've been together ever since. And so June 19th, 2022, we got married on that same miniature golf course that we had our first hangout.
Love it. Now, I didn't know that's where you got married. So that is a beautiful ending to the story. And now I get the significance of why you go back for every anniversary.
Exactly. You got it, sister.
All right, well, let's dive on into this new book, Love Beyond 40. How did this journey lead to co-authorship? Did you just wake up one day and say, let's write a book together?
Well, so let's rewind to the Book Versus. When we had the interview and I heard her speak, I said, this is someone that I could work with. And I'm a purse comes first type person. So I wasn't even thinking anything romantic. I was just thinking we could do seminars, workshops, possibly write some books together. So I already had a vision of us being business partners in some form, shape, or capacity. And then once the romance started to evolve, it was easier we do a lot of other stuff too. We do professional development seminars together, but there were so many people that said that our love story provided hope for them. And we were like, well, okay, we haven't been married long enough to write a book about marriage, but we could write about the process that it took for both of us to be ready for a serious relationship. And that's really what the book is about. We sat down, we compared notes, and these are the things that I was doing after a breakup, or this is how I healed, or this is how I forgave myself, et cetera, all of these different principles. And then we were like, okay, a lot of these coincide. We did the same thing. But then there were parts where it was like, she said, well, I did this, this, and this. I was like, that's dope. I didn't do that, but that needs to be in the book. Or I say, well, here's something I did. She was like, that's dope. This needs to be in the book. So that's kind of how the book came about.
And I've asked everyone I've ever dated the same question. If we were to write a book together, what would the book be about? And because I just always saw this as part of my formula in life and love, to be able to be in business with my partner. So my formula for a relationship was husband equals business partner plus best friend. So that was always what I was looking for. And we didn't have to talk about, will we write books together? They just, it just started happening and unfolding. And it just felt right. One of the things that, because we both have marketing backgrounds, that we also did was not just a book to help everybody, because we realized that one of the most important things is to be able to hone in on helping a particular person. And so we decided that even though men do this work, we decided that this was a book for women, that if the women healed themselves and did the work, that the right men vibrating on the right level where they are, they would attract those men in a more powerful way. So this book is for Black women, though it would work for anyone.
Yeah.
This book is for
and
Black
there's
women.
even a section in the book where I say, give this book to a man, or let them read this paragraph. And I talk to the guy saying, this is for us too. This work is for us. These same principles work for us. But from a marketing standpoint, we understood, all right, here you go, women. And I kind of tell some secrets from a man's perspective that I probably shouldn't have, to give the women an upper hand on the dating scene.
It sounds like your differing perspectives really enrich the content of the book. I like that you kind of separated with a certain theme. I like that you've chosen an audience, even though it can work for anybody, at any age, really. But I like that you honed in, because there isn't enough stuff, I think, out here for anybody over 40. It feels like everything is written when you're just starting to get your footing in life. But, they forget about the 40-year-olds, like we need help too.
And so many have gotten kind of, stuck in our ways and disappointed over time from things that have happened. And that's really the thing I think that keeps us back the older we get, is that we get set in what went wrong and we forget to dream and believe and hope again in what can go right. And actually do the dating. Because somewhere in here, we just thought, oh, it's going to happen, without actually doing the work, doing the dating, going through the numbers. You got to keep dating and kissing the frogs and putting the slip on
the princess.
And keep trying in order to actually have a love story.
I love that. Now, you encourage readers to stay open-minded about love and relationships after 40. Can you share a story or an example from your own personal lives where you knew you were open to new possibilities and better outcomes?
Oh, so I had a big breakup in 2020, June of 2020, which sounded like the scariest thing in life, because even though I'm an extrovert and I love to be outside and meeting new people, I couldn't. So I really had no idea how I was going to meet the next person or be in a next relationship. So it was the epitome of scared to start over, don't know what to do next. So the first thing that I did, though, was I started dating me real tough. And I had the best summer of my life in 2020. And it helped me personally to elevate my vibration. But I went online. I was like, I'm going to go online. I'm going to meet some people. I'm going to see what's out here and keep trying. And that's what I did. And it wasn't, technically I met him online, but it wasn't from online dating. But I think that all of those intentional things that I did kept my open or closed, right? I kept myself open to finding love, so that if it turned up at the miniature golf course, I was ready to grab it up, girl.
Yeah. And I'm kind of the same. I had a very bad breakup in 2018, and it was in that moment that I'm like, I'm never going to do this again. My heart is broken, all of these things. And as I started the healing process and working on myself and realized that I do want lasting partnership. I do want companionship. I do want to grow old with somebody. And I said, okay, what type of person do I want to attract? And do I deserve that person? One of the things that we talk about in the book is sometimes people have this list of everything that they want in a person. And you have to really step back and ask yourself, do I deserve that? Am I that person? Am I vibrating at a level that would attract the type of person where I got all of these things on the checklist? If you want a man that's 6 feet tall with a six-pack and makes six figures, is that type of person going to be attracted to the type of person that you are? And we have to take a serious look at that. So I was taking a serious look at myself, saying, okay, for the type of woman that I want, who do I have to become? And I was pretty much there for the most part, but the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. And so I looked for those things where I could improve. And that's some of the stuff that we talk about. And it's like, okay, all right, I'm ready. And she appeared.
What would you say is the most rewarding aspect of collaborating on this book together? Did you grow together as a couple?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We
sure.
found out so many new things because, we just have known each other just over 1,000 days. So when you really think about it, it isn't that long, but we spend approximately 29 hours a day together most days. So since we work together a lot and travel together
What's
a
wrong
lot,
with you?
that's about accurate. We do so much together that being able to have those moments where we just have an idea, which might be first thing in the morning or last thing at night, to be able to take that, flush it through, and pull it into something that we want to be in the book. We have been keeping notes for months about what that needs to go in the book and that needs to go in the book. And we just happened to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico one night for our daughter's track meet. Got back to the hotel and I said, well, let's watch something. Let's just chill. He said, well, you've been talking about writing this book. Let's just start that. I said, okay. And that is the beginning of, we named it that night. We started on the cover and then we filled in all the pages in between.
Yeah, and point of clarity, when she says our daughter, I have 2 kids from a previous relationship.
Yes.
Because you said less than 1,000 days.
Oh, that math
A
goes.
little baby ain't finna be running track. So yeah.
I married into motherhood as they were, the youngest was becoming an adult.
Right.
And the other one's already grown off and now married, doing her own thing. So it's also the perfect time for motherhood too.
Right.
I love that you refer to his daughter as our daughter. You kind of epitomize the power couple because not everybody can work together with their spouse. Not everybody can spend 29 hours a day with their spouse, and build. And I think that's what I hope for all married couples, that you can see your spouse as your best friend and your business partner. So I tip my hat to you, and I hope that successfully you can create, more couples like yourself.
And we know that we're a bit of an anomaly, right? So in the book, we don't say you should meet your partner and get married within a year.
Right.
Because that doesn't happen for everybody.
Right.
We are so much alike that we don't have to compromise on a lot of things because we think alike, we like the same things. And that's what works for us.
Yes.
In some cases, opposites attract, and people need that counterbalance of somebody different than who they are. For us, though, being the same person and having the same ideologies, morals, values, and so many different things, it was easier for us to make that decision in a short period of time because it's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror.
Yes.
Right. And so we're not saying, hey, fall in love, get married,
see what happens.
No. Like there's some things that need to happen or be in place in order for you to have that type of partnership. So our story won't necessarily be everybody's story, but these tools in the book are for everybody to prepare themselves for whatever's best for them.
As somebody that was on the fast track to marriage myself, I was on the accelerated program as well. I kind of love that though. I love that that's an example. Like if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But I just feel like sometimes we get older and you start to kind of worry a little bit about like, am I going to find somebody? Do I want to give you 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a relationship just for it to blow up in my face? Now I'm 45, now I'm 50, now I'm 52. And it's that fear of starting over and over and over again. And all you can see is just years floating by. So although it isn't ideal for everybody, I get that. But I also like that it's there. I like that it works. You all prove every day on social media that it works. So I could see somebody being like, you know what? I could see myself, finding that person and knowing and getting married in 6 months. That feels like that's the track I need to be on. So
yeah, and it can feel right because we had moments. Mel talks about the societal norms of how it felt to be making this decision so quickly.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, society says we should be engaged for a year and then we should live together for a year and then we should see if we're, potential to be married. But because of our lifestyle formula, we had spent so much time together. After like 6 months, he was like, if you had a representative, she would have showed up by now. And I said the same thing. So we just really felt more comfortable to just move forward, knowing what we wanted to do. And even from a business perspective, I said, we could do the Mel and Mo thing, but the Robersons, that sounds so much more powerful, that we are doing it and building, it with intention and purpose for our future. And I think I've been an entrepreneur, girl, you know me for a long time. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. And I've always been told, well, girl, you need a stable man because your business is always different. You need somebody that's got a steady job, that's, all of these things. And I would say, okay, well, let me figure that out. So I was looking for this formula in someone who could not give me that, because no doctor, lawyer, businessman with a big power position working 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 could give me the kind of travel and, spontaneity that I really wanted in life. And so Mel is a very stable, but also entrepreneur. So there's always an understanding kind of that we're always working, and that even though when we're working, we're still always dating, and we kind of just ball that thing up together. And it works.
So the other thing that I'll throw in there too, as far as the fast track is concerned, for us to get married, we also had a lot of the tough conversations right away.
Up front.
Right. So yeah, it was newness. It was like, oh, he's handsome. You gorgeous. We happy. This is fun. But then it was like, okay, I need to see your credit score. Like, I need to know how you are with finances, right? I need to know what your family history is around health stuff. How do you take care of yourself? When's the last time you've been to the doctor? Have you had blood work, right? All of these things where people will be in love and happy
and avoid.
And then you find out, you with somebody that they make 100,000, but they spend 250. Nah, that ain't gonna work, right? So we had a lot of those tough conversations up front, and it was uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, but we got through them, and it was like, all right, now that that's out of the way, where can we go from here?
Mm-hmm. And we just had a lot of, similarities in goals and the things that we wanted to accomplish next. And so it was like, if this is our base springboard, from here, we can do so much.
What message do you have for anyone that's seeking love after 40, that has a lot of external forces in their ear, telling them that they need to follow certain time, or just noise? We'll just put all the noise in one basket. What advice or word of encouragement can you leave anyone watching that's desperately, or not desperately, but that seeks love after 40?
Love you enough that no matter what, you're happy enough right now. There is no I'll be happy when I have. It has to be your highest level of loving you so much that the next person could only catch the hint of how they should treat you, of how your expectations to be treated are because of how you treat yourself. And from that, you can attract. But if you're unsure of you and making excuses about being better, then it won't happen. And I won't lie to anybody about that. But if you keep loving you and elevate constantly how much you love yourself, how you love yourself, and what energy you are emitting into the world, it makes all the difference.
And the thing that I would add to that is stop reliving your past relationships, because all you're doing is carrying the energy of failure into your new relationship. So many times people are like, man, well, if only I had or I wasted this time and this was horrible and this happened to me. Well, your mind doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So what you think about, you bring about. And if you're constantly harboring upon the things that happened in the past and thinking those things and worrying about those things, something I always say is worries are nothing more than prayers for things that you never wish to happen. So since you're constantly dwelling upon this and what you think about expands, you're pulling that energy into the relationship. So forgive yourself, allow yourself some grace. Be okay with the fact that things that happened in the past didn't work out because they weren't supposed to, right? If we had stayed with the people that broke our hearts, we would continue to have heartbreak instead of now somebody that takes care of my heart, right? So give yourself some grace. Stop dwelling about what happened in the past or dwelling on what happened in the past. Focus on your healing and be willing to take the risk.
And if I could add one more thing, it would be, don't treat the new guy like the things that the old guy did to you.
There's a song by Music Soul Child. He says, I'm not to blame for the pain that was caused by previous cats.
Period.
Yeah.
And sometimes we go checking phones because the last guy did this, or, I'm not going to give up this part of myself because the last guy, blah, blah, blah. And we have to be really, really careful not to do that, but see every new person as an opportunity, not just for them to be new, but also for you to show up brand new. And that's how love happens.
And recognize when you don't. Sometimes she'll do something or say something to me. I'll be like, woman, who hurt you? Who hurt you? I'm not him. It's okay. Let's talk about it. Let's get through it and move on.
Yeah. And I love those moments because it shows me like, there's some residue still in there. And I just go in, deal with myself, and I try not to do the same things twice.
Yep.
I love that. And I thank you both for just dropping so much knowledge and insight today. And I really, really hope that it pours into somebody that's watching this. But before we go, I have a few lightning round questions to take us on out of here today. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
First one, what's one hobby or interest you both share that might surprise your audience?
We both share.
Hobby that we both share that surprises the audience.
I think travel's our number one hobby right now. So that's no surprise exactly. He's into physical things and I'm learning my way into physical things. So I'm trying to get into skating and bike riding. I'm not exactly that girl, but I want to be. You come up with something?
Yeah, not that we both share. Not that would be surprising. I don't think that we have anything that would be surprising to our audience.
Okay, well, we'll take that. What's your favorite guilty pleasure snack or treat you enjoy together?
My wife.
Nah.
I'm sorry. This is public. It's PG. I'm sorry.
His is French fries. His guilty pleasure is definitely French fries. And I'm probably a chocolate chip cookie. Okay. I've never met a chocolate chip cookie I did not like.
And I make the most amazing popcorn, and we both enjoy that.
Yes.
Like my seasonings and the way
His kitchen game is tight, period. I just do the dishes around here.
She was a small when I met her. She's a medium now. So
try not to be an L.
What's the most adventurous thing you've done together as a couple thus far?
Most adventurous.
Get married.
Does that count? Get married in the year.
Yeah, that counts. That counts.
Probably.
Definitely counts.
Yeah.
What's the last TV series you binge watched together?
So we don't get a lot of time for TV. The last thing we finished was probably Money Heist. But we've been looking forward to getting into House of the Dragon.
Yeah, season 2 of that. We watched Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, that was good.
That was
I like
good.
that, yeah.
Nice.
Money Heist somehow turned into our favorite series of all time. Yeah. If you haven't watched Money Heist, it's one of those dubs, but give it a chance. Yeah. It's really good.
Friends from college.
We ain't finished it.
We didn't finish, but I mean, we're binging it now.
Okay.
So,
that's credit. We'll give you that credit. The last one. Describe each other in 3 words without using any cliches.
Oh.
Attentive, loving, adorable.
Renaissance man, amazing. I'll put him to make a better sentence. Amazing Renaissance man. He do a little bit of everything, and I love it all.
Oh, very good. Well, Mel and Monique Roberson, I want to thank you for being my special guest on the Chundria Show today. I thank you for being good sports. For information on your new book, speaking engagements, or just to follow your journey online, what's the best way to connect?
So lovebeyond40.com will get you to us with everything. Lovebeyond40.com. You can pick up a book, follow us in socials. Also, melandmo.com will get you to all of our socials. On IG, I am at Coach Mo Roberson.
And I am at The Total Gent.
Gent.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do.
Yay! Thank you so much.